Haven't found him yet. Maybe next time.
Oh. Shit. Oh, it's you. I'm so tired. You know, this whole thing takes a lot out of me. How many times have we done this? Like 100? 1,000? I guess it's not always so bad. Don't worry. I still remember who I'm looking for. Okay. Let's get this over with.
And when you do see him, has he ever spoken to you?
Outra.
No.
I see. And have you ever caught a glimpse of his hands, by any chance?
Outra.
No.
It's very interesting. And can you remember the last time that you encountered this figure?
Uskalapsa.
I remember
Outra.
how it ended.
Oh, it's fascinating that you can actually remember that. And has this figure appeared to you in this life?
Outra.
No.
I see. Oh, whoops, I'd forgotten. I don't know what kind of food you eat, but I'm certain we can rustle something up for you. Oh, do stay put, please.
Tratten härska
Want some coffee? You know, I've had this story going round and round in my head for days. The one about the bloke who lost his horse. Do you know it? All right, then I will. One evening, dark, ominous clouds began to gather over this farm. A bolt of lightning struck this barn, where a farmer kept his beloved horse. In the morning, the farmer awoke to find his barn burnt to the ground, and he fell to his knees, believing his horse to have been trapped inside it. But on closer inspection, he noticed hoof marks leading from the barn down towards the edge of the farm, up through the fields and towards a mighty forest that lay beyond. Determined to go and find his horse, he ran back home, he packed a little bag, he kissed his wife on the forehead, and he ventured off. Once inside the mighty forest, he closely followed the horse's hoof prints on the forest floor. Round and round and round he went for hours and hours and hours. He felt like he was going back on himself all the time. He felt lost and scared as he went deeper and deeper into the dark forest. He wasn't sure whether he'd ever get out of there alive. But he did get out alive. He followed the tracks out the other end and up to a cliff. He peeked over the cliff and he saw there was a drop of 100 feet or more. Expecting to see his horse dead at the bottom, he was surprised to see hoof marks in the sand leading off into the desert. Confused as to how his horse had managed to survive the fall, all he knew was he had to get down there. So he went to a clump of trees and he pulled down loads of branches and leaves and ivy, and he slowly bound together a long makeshift rope. When he was satisfied it was of the required length, he tied one end to a tree that was near the cliff and he threw the rest over. Then slowly, carefully, he worked his way down the rope. About halfway down, the rope broke and he plummeted backwards towards earth. Thankfully, he landed on a sand dune and it cushioned his fall. Once he brushed the sand out of his eyes, the first thing he laid eyes on was his horse's footprints, and he followed them for miles and miles and miles through the desert until they led down to the shoreline of a mighty sea. Now, against all logic, the farmer was absolutely confident that the horse had managed to travel across this sea and would be waiting for him on the other side. So, he scrambled around the beach, collected lots of driftwood, pulled out some reeds, and he managed to make himself a rather impressive raft. He got on the raft and he set sail, using the stars, the sun and the moon to help navigate a straight course across this mighty stretch of water. Everything was going great until one night he noticed dark, ominous clouds gathering above his head and a storm erupted. It reminded him of the storm that occurred over his farm all those weeks ago. Felt like a different lifetime. Suddenly, lightning and thunder ignited the sky. Huge crashing waves came smashing in. Mother Nature was battering him every which way. He clung to the raft for dear life, but piece by piece it fell apart until he was left holding a solitary piece of wood. Suddenly, the sky lit up and a bolt of lightning struck close by and it sent him diving deep into the icy waters. His lungs filled with salt water. He shut his eyes, praying that his horse hadn't suffered a similar fate as he waited for death to take him. But it didn't take him. The next thing he knew, he was on all fours on the beach of a strange land, coughing and spluttering like anything. And the first thing he saw in front of his eyes were his horse's footprints. And he followed them up the beach towards this green hill. And when he got to the top of the hill, before him lay this splendid valley. Lush and verdant and full of colour. And who's down there, in the middle of it, stomping on the wildflowers and basking in the sunlight? His old friend, the horse. He ran down towards him, he flung his arms around his neck and he kissed his face. The farmer was overcome with feelings of joy and relief. But then suddenly, he remembered all the obstacles that he'd had to get over to get him to this point in time. How far he'd travelled and the danger that he'd experienced. He knew at that moment that it would be impossible to take his horse back with him. As tears rolled down the farmer's cheeks, he climbed onto the horse, gave it the old, and the two of them set off towards the snow-capped mountains in the distance.
Here you go, hon.
Thanks very much.